From the studios of Farm Journal Broadcast, this is AgDay.
Keeping a tradition going.
It started simple and then we continued doing it.
One North Dakota teacher is proving not all things that started during the pandemic are bad. And it's crop tour time.
I'm Michelle Rook here on the eastern leg of the Pro Farmer Crop Tour in Ohio, where yield potential may be under last year.
This corn crop, I think, has felt a lot of stress from day one.
Well, Crop Tour is off to a disappointing start in the West. We'll tell you why coming up today on AgDay.
What scouts are seeing as they head out into thousands of fields looking at yield potential. And what it all can mean for this year's harvest right now on AgDay.
The 2022 Pro Farmer Crop Tour on AgDay is brought to you by Pioneer. For cutting-edge agronomic advice for your farm, count on your local Pioneer team for year-round crop management insights. Pioneer, an American seed brand since 1926. And by Pivot Bio Proven 40. Predictable, productive, weatherproof. Turn to a better nitrogen with Pivot Bio Proven 40. Learn more at pivotbio.com.
Good morning, I'm Clinton Griffiths. The 2022 Pro Farmer Crop Tour is officially underway. We're already getting in a lot of information from scouts on the tour, especially in the West, where drought has been an ongoing battle throughout the growing season. And as the tour rolls into day two, USDA is releasing updated crop condition numbers. And this week, corn condition has dropped again. Now 55% of the crop is rated good to excellent. That's down 2% from last week. Focusing on the states from day one of the tour, Ohio's corn crop rated 60% good to excellent, while in South Dakota, just 48% considered good to excellent. Overall, soybeans are at 57% good to excellent nationally. That's down 1% from a week ago. In Ohio, 59% of the crop is rated good to excellent, and in South Dakota, the number is 55%. Now, the eastern leg of the Pro Farmer Crop Tour is making its way today from Indiana to Illinois. That's after starting out in Ohio, where the state's crop got off to a late start and faced many challenges during the growing season. As Michelle Rook found out, while the crop looks good, those issues may be shaving some yield potential.
Crop scouts here in Ohio are finding a respectable crop in their surveys. It just may not be the bumper crop that they saw in 2021. Fields are still wet this morning after some rains over the weekend in Ohio, which should benefit especially the soybean crop. But Pro Farmer's Brian Grady says early pod counts will make it difficult to top 2021, which averaged 1,195 pods.
They've been about average, I would say, for this area in Ohio from what we've seen. Not super heavily potted, but decent pod counts.
Central Ohio farmer Josh Yoder says they had too many early season issues with soybeans, including late planting, replanting, and water damage.
That also brought some late season disease damage. We had Phytophthora in our area in July.
And so reaching the record 57 bushel per acre yield USDA estimated for soybeans in Ohio in the August WASDE may be a heavy lift.
I think both for us and in general, I would expect a fairly average year. I'm not necessarily expecting a bumper crop because we've had some challenges.
There's a lot of variability in both soybeans and corn. Unlike 2021, when corn yield averaged 185 bushels per acre, 16 bushels above the 3-year average, and the best crop Grady had ever seen.
This is probably maybe a little bit better than a typical Ohio crop would be from my small sample size, but not what last year was.
Yoder says their corn APH is around 200 bushels, but he thinks they'll have fields above and below that.
We're going to have some relatively low yields on fields that don't have very good drainage, but I would expect well-tiled drain fields early to mid 200s.
And that variability may be just one of the reasons why USDA has corn yields down 3 bushels from last year at 190 bushels per acre for corn in Ohio. I'm Michelle Rook reporting for AgDay.
And in the West, the focus continues to be on drought. The tour winding its way through Nebraska today, where 76% of the state is in some sort of drought. It follows day one, where scouts in South Dakota got their first look at what drought and dryness there are doing to the crops. Farm Journal's Tyne Morgan is covering that leg.
Well, Clinton, scouts on the western leg of Pro Farmer Crop Tour this year knew that they would see signs of stress as well as dryness. But day one of the crop tour for the West can be summed up in one word, according to scouts: disappointing.
And this corn crop, I think, has felt a lot of stress from day one.
Chip Flory has been on the Pro Farmer Crop Tour for 30 years.
When you come up here and you get into an area where the planting date wasn't anything spectacular, it was a little bit late, and we've got corn that is denting, it means that it's been pushed.
And this year, southeast South Dakota shows a corn crop that struggled from the start.
And then the heat that we had during pollination is showing up in some of the ears that we've sampled because of some shotgun pollination, not getting pollinated on the butt of the ear or on the tip of the ear.
He says this crop was also stressed post-pollination, with scouts seeing small kernels that will take a bite out of South Dakota's final yielding areas.
So 100 bushel corn yield calculated might end up being 85 or an 80 because of a reduced kernel size. So it's a crop that has experienced several stress periods in the 22 growing season.
As Flory's route traveled south of Sioux Falls and into Nebraska, it produced an average South Dakota yield of below 100 bushels per acre for corn.
We're in the early dent, maybe even mid-dent stage on the samples that I've seen. We shouldn't be there. We should be in the mid to late dough on this crop, but it's been pushed post-pollination.
Soybeans seem to show more potential.
Well, the good news out of South Dakota is that there's a bean crop up here. The bad news is maybe it's not as spiffy as what we would like to see.
But late planting combined with some heat stress means South Dakota's soybean crop is also far from perfect. Now, Clinton, similar issues are showing up as scouts are getting into Nebraska. So as they trek through those fields and dig deeper into Nebraska's crop, we will have a first-hand look at that tomorrow morning on Ag Day.
And we'll continue to bring you the latest from the tour, both online and on air. We bring you day 2 results tonight during Crop Tour Live. Make sure to join us 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern online. You can find the link at agweb.com/crop tour. Now, Texas really needed rain, and portions of the state are getting inundated this week. And when it's done, it will be the longest lasting rain event in central Texas since October of last year. Heavy downpours have caused flash flooding in several areas, including Dallas, where almost 8 inches of rain was recorded in just 3 hours. If the Dallas-Fort Worth area sees more than 10.33 inches of rain, it will make it the wettest August on record. And more rain is on the way for that area today. Meteorologist Andrew Whitmire is here with the very latest.
Yeah, this area is going to still be inundated with lots of moisture. Again, if we take a closer look here at the northern parts of Texas here, that's again where they've been inundated here with several inches of water. In fact, zooming on into the Dallas metro area itself here, they've received over 8 to 10 inches of rain from Sunday through today's rainfall rate here, and they were at an 8-inch deficit going into this rainfall, where they were under an exceptional to an extreme drought across the northern parts of Texas. So again, they're dealing with a lot of flooding issues as that ground just can't absorb all of that moisture. And today's rain, we're going to kind of see that beginning to shift, at least the highest amounts now shifting towards far eastern Texas, and then getting across parts of the deep south where over 3 to 6 inches of rain will continue. And we also continue our crop tour here today in Nebraska City. And overall, we're going to be looking at a mostly sunny and warm day. Temperatures getting very close to near 90 degrees. Bloomington, Illinois, high 84 degrees, warm and mostly sunny. And let's check out our photo of the day here, Great Bend, North Dakota. And we don't want to forget about wheat harvest going strong still. Chris Johnson says this photo was taken 3 miles east of Great Bend, North Dakota. That's in the southern Red River Valley, just south of Wahpeton, North Dakota. And he says this is hard red spring wheat growing at CNS Farms. Looks like a beautiful day there. All more in your Ag Day forecast coming up.
Last week, wheat prices continued to trend lower. What's the outlook for prices ahead? We'll take a look at that next. And later, a simple pledge of allegiance is how one North Dakota teacher found normalcy during COVID. 2 years later, she's still going strong in the country. Wheat markets charging back into the green to start the week. Michelle Rook joins us once again with today's analysis.
Joining us with market analysis, Joe Vaklovic with Standard Grain. Wheat market has really gotten pummeled off the contract highs that we set there in June. Let's talk about this market. How much more downside risk is there, and what is combined to really force that market lower?
We've had a number of negative headlines as of late. The pace of U.S. export sales has been pretty poor. The most recent weekly report from USDA was not good at all. This shipping program out of Ukraine, I think, was met with a lot of skepticism, but it appears as if they're actually making some progress. You've got ships leaving Ukraine. You've got empty ships arriving at Ukrainian ports ready to be loaded. I still think there's going to be some issues moving grain to port and that sort of thing, but it's going much better than expected, I think. And that's a big deal in markets, is like expectations versus reality. And things are better than expected, even though that program probably isn't perfect. Russia is going to have a record wheat crop, and it's going to be substantially cheaper, or is substantially cheaper, than anything that can be bought out of the United States. So that goes back to our weak export demand. There's some issues with that. A lot of the shipping companies, the banks, they're kind of having issues and I think second thoughts about how involved they want to be with Russia in regard to the export process. We haven't sanctioned Russian wheat or ag products, but I think that the banks are scared to do business with Russia just because they don't know exactly what the implication is in regard to sanctions and that sort of thing. But I mean, that's a big wheat crop and it's cheap. It's going to find its way to market at some point in time. So that's like an additional negative factor here.
But we have corrected over $5.50 in Kansas City wheat off the highs, Joe. Do you think that we're getting too cheap here?
I've told my customers that you need to just kind of forget that like March, April, May, June ever even happened, and kind of like look at the chart in that kind of way. I don't think we're going back to 12 or 13 bucks anytime soon, barring some massive escalation in the Ukraine-Russia situation. I mean, I just don't think you're going back there anytime soon. So you got to step back, look at the prices, look at, are you still making money growing wheat at these sort of price levels? Because when you look at, SRW wheat in the 7s, HRW in the 8s, those aren't bad prices. I mean, historically speaking, those are not bad prices. It's just that it hurts that you didn't sell the 12 or 13 when it was there, and now it's not,
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us, Joe Vaklovic with Standard Grain. More Ag Day coming up.
For more information about Standard Grain and its services, call Joe at 312-462-4438.
AgDay is brought to you by EndZone from Farm Shop MFG, which allows you to rehydrate your soybeans from 10 to 13%. On a 20,000 bushel bin, that's an extra semi-load added to your bottom line. Order your EndZone fan by August 29th and receive 7% off.
Meteorologist Andrew Whitmire joining us here, taking a look at, really where we could see some potential flooding because of all that rain down in the southern U.S.
Yeah, once again, unfortunately, we're talking about yesterday in Dallas dealing with a lot of flooding, and today now that shift is going to affect parts of northern Louisiana. And back to the flooding concerns again across the parts of the deep south as well as the Four Corners, all the way from Arizona, southern and eastern Texas are going to be inundated by more rounds of heavy rain, and that threat is going to begin to shift its way again towards Louisiana, over towards Mississippi. And looking at last Thursday's drought monitor from August 18th, and again, you can see a lot of Texas here into those reds and dark reds, showing you most of Texas into that extreme and exceptional drought. Not really no more across northern Texas after, again, we've been inundated with several inches of rain. And with that ground being very, very hard, very, very unsaturated, that's allowing a lot of that water just to kind of run off as, again, the ground just can't absorb all of that rainfall. And it's all thanks to this very, very slow low pressure system and stationary front that's basically going to stay parked all the way through midweek. We don't start to see it really shifting further off towards the east until we get past midweek, Thursday, Friday. We're going to see this eventually switching over towards the Tennessee Valley and over towards the Virginia east coast as we go towards the end of this upcoming week. And again, you can kind of see here where some more of these purples are going to show up here. There's going to be a potential for 3 to 6 plus inches of rainfall to happen across parts of eastern Texas, parts of Louisiana, and heading on over into Mississippi as we go throughout the next several days. Meanwhile, we go up to the north and east. They're already dealing with another round of some heavier pockets of rain. and we're going to see another round of some waves of energy producing more rainfall for parts of the northern plains and parts of the west coast regions. Looking at our temperature trends for tomorrow morning, we're going to see those temperatures 60s and 70s across much of the continental U.S. And then as we go towards the afternoon tomorrow, a lot of 80s showing back up once again on the map, and it's all thanks to, again, our jet stream, which is going to continue to bubble up across the western half of the U.S. We're finally going to lose that trough out east, and we're going to see at least a taste of one last summer punch here as we head into the last weekend of August. Let's take a look at some select cities. Dallas, Texas, scattered showers and thunderstorms, high 86 degrees. Going to York, North Dakota, scattered showers and thunderstorms, high 79 degrees. And Christmas Valley, Oregon, sunny, high 85.
Backnology Days is back, August 25th through the 27th. Come see for yourself why this annual event draws thousands of farmers to Atlanta, Indiana. Learn more and register today at BexHybrids.com/field-shows.
USDA is lowering its price forecast for most milk products. Non-fat dry milk is down 9 cents a pound, dry whey down 3 cents a pound. But butter prices are showing some strength due to strong demand here at home and relatively tight stocks. The forecasters say prices could come down a little bit going into next year. They say to expect lower Class 3 and Class 4 milk prices, and that translates into a lower all milk price by 95 cents per hundredweight, and for next year, down by about $1.65 per hundredweight. That's down $2.70 per hundredweight year over year. We told you earlier this month about Borden Dairy closing 2 of its southern plants. The closures have left dozens of school districts scrambling for new milk supplies. DairyHerd.com reporting more than 100 school districts in Alabama will be impacted when the closures take effect on September 30th. The State Department of Education says it's working with vendors to provide an alternative shelf-stable milk. Officials are also working with the Dairy Alliance to locate dairy producers in the area who may be able to help out. Helping students find comfort in tradition. 2 years later, this North Dakota teacher is keeping a new tradition rolling. That story next.
Your next piece of equipment is on MachineryPete.com. Search equipment from dealerships across the country to find what you're looking for. Only on MachineryPete.com.
AgDay, happy birthday, 40 years, that's amazing. I'm Jody Kurzman with KFYR TV in Bismarck, North Dakota, and what an honor to be included in this birthday celebration. And I have to say, what an honor to be included in your broadcast from time to time. Thanks for including me, and here's to 40 more years of AgDay.
Thanks so much, Jody. And we're glad this morning to bring you another report from Jody Kurzman of AgDay affiliate KFYR. Now, we first met Amanda Rafferty in April of 2020. That's when in-person classes were canceled because of the coronavirus, and the Bowman, North Dakota teacher wanted to bring some sort of normalcy to her students. Now, she starts each school day in her classroom with the Pledge of Allegiance. So she thought, why not do the same from her backyard on Facebook? Now, more than 2 years later, she's still going.
I pledge allegiance to
7-year-old Audra Rafferty
States of America
knows these words,
the republic for which it stands,
by heart.
Under God.
She's been reciting the Pledge of Allegiance here in her backyard for more than 2 years.
I just really like saying the pledge. I pledge allegiance.
It all started when the pandemic forced schools to close.
Good morning, everybody.
Audra's mom was looking for a way to connect with her 5th grade students.
We just started saying the pledge for my mom's students.
It started simple, and then we continued doing it.
Good morning, everyone.
Every Friday at 8:25 a.m. Mountain Time, Audra and her mom continue to go live on Facebook.
Alrighty, Audra.
Audra greets viewers.
Good morning, everyone.
Then says the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to,
usually by the flag in their backyard,
and to the republic for.
Once in a while, the Raffertys go live from a new location.
I pledge allegiance.
This summer, that's included the Heritage Center in Bismarck,
For which it stands,
and Mount Rushmore.
Hi, everyone.
It's the little things that brings people together.
And so this family continues this little tradition.
Good morning, everyone.
Hoping that it might be something that will unite their community.
And to the republic for which it stands.
In Bowman, I'm Jody Kurzman, reporting for your news leader.
All right, thanks, Jody, and that's all the time we have this morning. And thank you for watching. Now, make sure to join us online tonight for results of Day 2 of Crop Tour Live. We'll have the numbers at 8 p.m. Central, 9 o'clock Eastern Time. From all of us here at AgDay, I'm Clinton Griffiths. Have a great day.